Your biggest challenge as a credit manager is going to be the pushback on a mechanic's lien. Most people don't understand them, and that's from long-term credit managers, that's salespeople, that's CFOs, presidents, and customers. So you're literally going to have this fight your entire career. As a credit manager, you're going to have to be comfortable explaining this to both your salesman and your customer, because the natural tendency is it's legal. It's for years had a bad reputation that maybe somebody didn't pay their bills on time, but in today's world, it's just another common mechanism to help you get paid and to help keep products and services going out the door. Make sure that you're super educated on them and to be able to articulate that to everybody that you meet. So basically, how I like to explain it to a customer, hey, let's go ahead, let's secure our lien rights on this. Lien rights are great because they're not filed anywhere at first. It's just a notice. It's just basically saying, hey, I'm here, my company's here, this is what we did. So if everything's cool and we get paid, that's awesome. However, if something goes wrong, I've secured my lien rights. So when you're talking to your customer, ask them if they can afford not to do this. If something happens, can you afford to come out of pocket if something goes wrong with this project and you didn't want me to secure lien rights for my company and you chose not to secure lien rights for your company? Can you afford this kind of loss? They're going to say no, because nobody can. You might be able to take one hit, but long term, no. You've got to put it to people in terms they can understand. One of the big challenges for credit managers across the country is getting people to use them. Understanding, and it's mostly, in most states, a 3-step process. But even in states where it's non-statutory, I always like to recommend just do it anyway. It's a great way to let everybody know that you're out there, that you know your rights and that you're securing them. They're not filed anywhere. You just have to go through a couple steps to make sure they're served correctly. What is the biggest challenge that you see with clients not wanting to pull the trigger on either securing their rights or taking that next step and actually filing the mechanic's lien?
The biggest issue that I see, and I understand it, but it's the reason that stops my clients from filing is they don't want to look like a bad guy against the party they've contracted with. And so, I tell them, look, it is a business decision to decide this, but get in place a policy and a system. Whether it's, okay, over X amount of dollars, I'm going to provide my notice and I'm going to file my lien. I think you should always do it because, look, you never know what's going to happen in the future. Get your rights out there so that you can preserve them. If you want to enforce them later, you can. If not, you don't have to. But I think you should always have a system in place so you're not deciding on every project and every issue, are we going to do this or not? Decide what your company policy is and just follow it. Send the notice, hey guys, we're on the project, just please pay us and everything's going to be good. If not, we've preserved our rights if we want to pursue them later.
Why do you think they're so negatively viewed?
Well, I think different construction industries just have different cultures, and going back to, well, this used to be a handshake deal, and why, just follow the contract. We're going to work along. If there's changes, we're not going to document them, and we're going to just settle up at the end. I wish that could be the case, but I don't see it anymore. So I think you need to. It goes back to what we're saying: read the contract, know your rights. And if you're able to file a lien, know the processes that you have to follow. Even in states where there isn't a statutory process, get your system in place and do what's required to preserve those rights.
Why do you think so many contractors or so many of those contracts have that in their contract where you won't file a lien, here's a lien waiver in there, is because they do know it's a good method to get paid. The only other recourse you have is that lawsuit. Lawsuits take a long time and a lot of money. Mechanics liens are a defined period of time because perfecting your lien, usually you have a year before you have to do something with it. And everybody knows that. And if they don't know it, their attorney will tell them. So you've got that opportunity. In some states you can re-up it for another year. However, you've got a defined period of time. It's going to get you paid quicker. This is just a small taste of a much larger class. You can take the full class for free at levelset.com. Join me.